How many of you are having trouble rebuilding your friend network and social network? Is there anybody who lost their social network during this pandemic who needs to rebuild it? And you're saying, where are all my friends? I need some friends now. Just want to see in the comments if that's a common problem or not. Kevin says, oh, we're getting a lot of yeses to that. Yep, yep, yep. All right, so I was going to do a micro lesson on the, oh, there's a lot of yeses. Wow, I'm sorry about that. So I feel the same situation. I feel like I have to intentionally rebuild my social network because it just completely shrunk to the family. Let me tell you a system for doing this. I was going to do a micro lesson on my locals subscription service on how to make friends. Would you like that? I'm going to give you a quick little lesson on how to make friends. And I actually wrote it on my whiteboard over here, which you can almost see. I shouldn't have showed you that other one, I guess. And here's the technique. Number one, making friends, don't think of it as a goal, think of it as a system. It's the same process I use for everything. A goal approach would be, I think I'm going to identify somebody I want as a friend, and I'm going to try to make that person my friend. That doesn't really work. It's hard to just say, well, I think you'll be my friend. I'm going to make you a friend. I don't ever see that work. So that would be a goal approach, and it just doesn't work. Here's a system approach. It goes like this. Number one, have defined interests. Become the person who cares about X. Now, X is up to you. Could be politics, could be a sport, could be a hobby, could be an interest, could be a cause. Find something to define you so that when your friends describe you, they say, oh, have you met Scott? He talks about politics, he plays tennis. Become a stereotype. Here's why. As soon as you become known as the person who does X, whatever X is, then all of the other people who like X are drawn to you. And they have a reason to talk to you. And you have a reason to talk to them. And your friend will say, hey, I know you're interested in X. You should meet my sibling who also likes X, or my ex who likes X. So be the moth, be the flame that attracts the moth. Don't be the moth, be the flame. Be the person who says, here is what I am, and now I'm going to attract stuff. So first of all, have a defined interest that other people recognize, and that will attract people of like interest. So that's the first part of the system. Next, be valuable. Be valuable. You would like to live in a world in which friendship is based on some, let's say, conceptual value, that you'll just say, you know, I like people. People are good. I like Bob. Bob's a good person. Bob's my friend. I'll tell you how a goal is different from affirmations in a minute. Friendship is a transactional situation. Your family might not be. In your family, you might have something close to, complete love without any restrictions. But friends are transactions. Now, you don't want to think of it that way, but I'm sorry, it's just true. It's always true. Your friends are people for whom you provide a value, and they provide a value back. If that's not happening, get rid of your friend. Unless, I suppose they're giving you value and you're giving them nothing, that'd be okay for you. But it's only a friendship if you both know what you're getting and you're both delivering it. For example, you might be valuable because you're funny. And people say, I love being around a funny person. You might be valuable because you're an empath. And people say, man, when I have a problem, I sure like talking to X. You might be valuable because your home is a good one for getting together. You might be valuable because you're an organizer. You're the person who brings everybody together. You might be valuable because you have lots of friends and people want to be your friend to have access to your network of friends. But make sure you have a value. If you're not offering a thing of value, why would anybody be your friend? Seriously, why would they be your friend? It's not because you're your inner you, your soul is so good. Forget about that. Nobody can see your soul. Nobody can see your inner thoughts. People can see what you do. So do something valuable for the people you would like to be friends with. If you can't do something for other people, don't complain you don't have friends. They need you to do something for them. That's how it works. So get over your romantic notions that friendship is based on some, connection in your soul. It's not that at all. It's just people have stuff in common who have an interest and a value that is exchanged. That's all. It's transactional. But there's nothing wrong with that. The world has gone on forever exactly with this system. You don't have to be the one who bucks it. Use the system. Don't fight the system. Use it. It's been tested for hundreds of thousands of years. You should also either join groups or organize them. So find a group of people who are doing a thing that you're interested in and join that group. The best way to make friends is simply by doing the same stuff with people that you didn't know that well, and then you get to know them. You got something to talk about. Oh, you do X, I do X. Let's talk about X. And then you're on your way. So if you can't join a group that is of interest to you, be the organizer. Are you worried that if you're the organizer, people will say no to you? Here's the trick. Don't say to one person, would you like to do X with me? Because if you get turned down for that, that feels kind of personal, doesn't it? Would you like to go to a movie with me? That's tough for some people to ask. Nobody likes to be rejected. So don't do that. Instead, be an organizer and say, I'm thinking of going to movie X, put out a message to your network. Does anybody want to go with me? That's it. I'm going to do something on this day. Who would like to join me? Then you don't know who turned you down. Nobody has to answer. It's just the people who want to join you say yes. If you get nobody joining you, nobody even knows. Nobody's going to know if you went to the movie. They just know you put it out there. That's all. If they didn't go or they didn't answer, that's all they know. So there's nobody turning you down, and there's nobody saying yes. Well, I mean, somebody might say yes. So don't ask one-on-one. Organize a group, put out an offer, offer to host, offer to create an event around something. Be the organizer. And next thing is diversify and prune. Don't think that your process of making friends is to get some friends and then you're done. No good. Your process of making friends should be a continuous process where you're adding new friends all the time and you're diversifying so that if you lose a friend, you got 10 more. You lose another friend, you still got 10 more because you added a new friend. What you don't want is to have two friends and then one of them gets pissed off at you and you lost 50% of your social network because you made one person mad, right? Diversify. 10 friends, 20 friends, 30 friends. That's what you're going for. And if you get to 10 and you say to yourself, well, that's enough friends. No, because you need to prune friends too. How many of your friends are just users? They're just toxic. Are you getting rid of the toxic ones? Because they're taking your time. You got to get rid of the toxic ones. And people can become toxic even if they didn't start that way. So you got to get rid of the toxic ones. And the only way you can get rid of toxic friends is to have diversified your friend portfolio so that you can grab one and say, toxic, get rid of it. And it doesn't even change the average. You don't even notice it. It's just better, right? So diversify, grow your friends, and prune viciously. Prune viciously. And the other tip is there are people who are good organizers and connectors. You probably know some. If you know 20 people, probably maybe only one of them, or even fewer, it could be zero, maybe one of them would be the person who knows lots of people and has parties and introduces you to people. If you're going to put any interest into a person, find one of those, all right? Find one of those, the organizer, the person who has lots of friends, and then how do you make that person your friend? Do you call them and say, hey, be my friend? Nope. That doesn't work. And plus they might say no. You don't want to do that. Offer them something. If there's somebody who's a good organizer, have a party and invite them. If you invite an organizer to 3 parties at your place, there's a 100% chance, and let's say the organizer goes 3 times to your place, there's a 100% chance that you will get invited to their next party. And that's the one that's the good one. That's where all the people are, because that's the organizer. That's how you do it. You find the people who are the highest value connectors. You make sure you put more attention toward them than other people, because they're the high value. So somebody says, I'm the toxic one. Then the other thing you ought to work on, because that's a good comment, is don't bother to make friends if you're an asshole. Okay? Work on that. If you know you're an asshole, or you know you're not very, let's say, generous to your friends, your problem is not ability to make friends. The problem is if you made friends accidentally, your work friends or the people that you just met casually, it doesn't matter. If you're going to be an asshole, there's no point. All right. So that is your goal for today. Now, the reason that systems are better than goals is because a system is something you can do every day. So what I just described is stuff you could be working on every day, right? Join a group, organize a group, send a text to that organizer person just to remind them who you are, that sort of thing. And whereas a goal, you might do nothing that day on your goal and you just feel depressed. But a system you can just work every day. To join a gym, right? There's something you can do every day. Join a gym, people with common interests, you'll probably run into some.